This story takes place in Newark, New Jersey, where I am originally from. Now, let me give you guys a quick rundown. This story takes place when I was 17 years old. I had my first daughter when I was 16, 2 weeks before my 17th birthday. Of not knowing where I was going to go once I had my daughter. Maybe I could just go back home, and she didn't open the door. Which social service, for me back then, was called is welfare, social services. And I went down there and told them my situation, and they told me that the only way that they can help me find a place to live, I would have to stay in an all-woman shelter, and basically you stay there for 30 to 90 days, and they help you find a place to live. They'll pay for it and furnish it for you and get you set up. Now, living in a shelter was like the worst thing in the world to me. Like, I just couldn't even imagine living in a shelter before. When I got there, it was a building that day. Well, now talking to the women, some of them were friends and some of them weren't friends. Some of them was easy to talk to and some of them was just kind of mean, like scary. So, some of them I didn't talk to. I got to know some of the girls. We all stayed in, there were like 3 different big, large rooms, okay? Now, one particular night, the girls were talking and they were saying that one of the girls' birthday was coming up and they wanted to go out and party and celebrate. And, they wanted to go get permission to be able to stay out longer than 8 o'clock from one of the counselors. And before they could finish, when they said, well, we would all like to stay out a little, no. And if you in here 1 minute after 8, they're being kicked out. And they said that they had a plan. They said, well, the plan is they still going to go out Friday night. I wanted to be friends with everybody, and I didn't have no friends at the time. I was excited about the fact that I had friends and people that I could talk to. So I agreed to be the lookout man. They said all I had to do was unlock the window and they would get back in. Now, I knew we was on the 3rd floor, but I was thinking to myself, unlock the window and they're going to get back in. Okay, well, they must know something I don't know. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe outside the window there's a fireplace or something. They're going to climb in and out of this window. So here come the time. They said they was going to leave like late at night when it was just quiet. I was knocked out sleep when one of the ladies woke me up and she said, ready? You ready? I was like, ready for what? And she's like, wake up. I'm going to need you to be woke because you're going to have to let us back in. You woke? I was like, yeah. Okay, what I need to do? She was like, okay, all right, start tying these up. They threw all these white sheets on top of me. And I see another girl got white sheets on top of her. And then I see another girl at the end kind of like pulling and tugging them. So it's like, what the hell is going on here? She was like tired of sheets. So I'm thinking like, no, I'm not doing this. I pushed the sheets off of me and I was like, no, this is not happening. I'm not doing this. And he was like, you got to do this because it's going on 12 o'clock and we need to get in there before a certain time so that we can get in free. It's women's nights. So I'm thinking like, dang, why did I sign up for this? So I started tying the sheets, and I'm tying a real knot, tying a knot and everything. And one of the girls must have been in the military or something because she really knew about knots. I mean, she had the knot thing going on, but the sheets were not coming apart, okay? Now, I'm sitting there and in my mind, I can't believe that something get ready to go down and I'm a part of this crap. They opens up the window. Now, these women were dressed, hair done, makeup, curls. That's why I love makeup till this day, because the first time I really learned about makeup is when I stayed in the shelter from these women, okay? They had the red lipstick on. They had the real high heel skinny shoes. I mean, they were dressed to core to go to these clubs, right? Okay. The one lady put all their shoes and their pocketbooks in one bag, and she puts it in a pillowcase bag. and she opens up the window and she drops it down. Really? She drops down the bag. Okay, so after she dropped down the bag, they all lined it up by the window, and it was like, okay, they already knew who was gonna go first. Now I'm looking at them lined it up, and I can't believe this. Like, I'm shocked. It was like 5 of them get ready to go out this window. Okay, down, they threw the sheet down, and it reached the bottom of the ground, and they was happy about that. I'm still looking at them like they freaking nuts. Okay, and everybody had to grab the end of the sheet and kind of hold on it, and it was like, what are you standing there for? Get up, you need to hold on to the sheet. And I was saying, well, maybe I should tie it to like a couple of beds. I was thinking to myself, I was so little during the time when I was 16 years old. I was not thick and meaty like I am now. I was little, I was scrawny, I was skinny. I had long arms, long skinny legs. All I had was a little bit of butt. That's it. I ain't had no weight to me, okay? And they talking about I'm going to have to stand at the end of this line and hold on to the sheets. And the girl was like, yeah, let's tie it to the end of the beds. See, that's why we like you. And I'm thinking to myself, I know it didn't take me to say something like that. Y'all crazy telling me to go out that window, you know? So then they tied the sheets and stuff up to the bed, and we all agreed to still kind of like, we had some of the women sit on the bed, we had some of the women hold the sheet. The first girl went out the window, and she was a skinny girl. She went out the window, she was climbing down, we was watching her. Now I was like on pins and needles. I didn't get to see her get down there, but then I heard her say, okay, come on, I can hear her. And I'm like, oh my God, she did it. She made it to the first floor, climbing down some freaking sheets. Oh my God, remember, this the first girl. Remember this girl, because I don't remember her name, but she was tall, skinny, and light skinned, okay? Because she gonna come back up. Now, the rest of the women followed her. They struggled a little bit because one of the women got really scared. She got stuck in the middle. She was too scared to go any further. And then, you know, they talked her down. She finally got down, and she was out down the bottom of the window. She was on the ground. So after that, they was like, okay, pull the sheets in. So we pulling the sheets in and everything, and we talking among each other, other females. We like, wow, I can't believe they did it. They're gonna have so much fun. So I'm looking down at the window, and I see a car pulls up, and I see a couple of girls gets inside the car, and I see another couple of girls, they walking, you know. So I'm like, wow, they're really leaving. And I was thinking like, oh my God, they're gonna have so much fun. So we closed the window, locked the window. Now, I'm supposed to stay woke. So what I did was, I was woke, okay? I was on pins and needles waiting for these freaking girls to come back. And it was so late, I couldn't even keep my eyes open. It was like 2 in the morning, I was like this. I could not stay woke. And I said, I'm not gonna lay down. So I started pacing the floor. And about 3 o'clock in the morning, I hear somebody. They calling me. And I'm like, oh my God, they're here. So I wake up the other girls and I tell them, help me, the girls are here. So we threw the sheets down to the bottom of the floor of the window, down to them, okay? And one of the girls started to climb back up into the window, and she got in. She made it up the building back into the window. And when I seen her make it into the window, it was just like, whew. And she's like, I can't wait to tell y'all, we had so much fun. I can't wait to tell y'all, oh my God. And so I was like, you need to be quiet, okay? Because she was kind of drunk, you know, been drinking, so she making noise and stuff. And I'm a little scared now because I'm participating with the fact that they done left, done went out the window, now they climbing back into the window. So here come the next girl, okay? She makes it into the window. Remember the first light-skinned girl I told you about that went down first, and she got down there like it wasn't nothing? She make it to the second floor. The sheet came loose. It's not even funny when you think about it, because at the time that this happened, we were all like, no, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And when we looked down at the bottom of the window, she was laid flat out. Do you hear me? She was laid flat on the ground, one of her legs bent. And I was thinking to myself, oh my God, she's dead. She's definitely dead, you know. And and it was still two more girls down there, right? And they was on the ground trying to help her up. They was calling her name and everything. And it was like, call an ambulance, call an ambulance. And I was like, oh my God, somebody go call 911. So one of the girls went running to go get the counselor. One of the girls went running to go get the counselor. I knew at that moment we were all getting kicked out. It was over, okay? I looked up. I looked at my bed. My baby was still asleep. Let me tell you what I did. I jumped in that bed. I put my head on the pillow. I put the sheet over my head. I started snoring. I was faking, but I was snoring. I was not trying to be a part of that. So when the counselor came in, all the females were up, standing at the window, all in shock. And he looked down at the bottom of the window, and the girl was out there laid out, okay? The counselor was like, oh my God. And he went running down the stairs, running real fast to get downstairs to help her. The girl was just knocked out cold. She wasn't dead, okay? Now, it was a whole lot of chaos going on down the stairs. I stayed upstairs. I was not trying to get involved. I act like the whole 2 weeks I was their friends. That particular night, I didn't know them no more. I was done with them, okay? So the next day, when it came time for everybody to be talked to, and it was telling everybody who had to leave the house, anybody that knew about what was going on had to get out and everything like that. So I was thinking to myself, like, oh my God, I just messed up my chances, you know, of finding me a place to live. And oh my God, what I'm gonna do? I was like, well, you know what, I'm just gonna go back to Eloise's house. I messed up, you know. That's all I could think. So I was on the bed and I was rocking like this, I was shaking like this, and one of the counselors was like, we need to talk to you and you need to come to my office. So I followed the counselor and I got my baby in my arm and I'm trying to think what I'm going to say. I said to myself, I'm throwing all of them underneath the bus. I'm telling them, every last one of them, I'm going to save my tail. I'm not getting kicked out of this shelter. But when I got in there, they said, hey, the job called and said you get to start work tomorrow. I said, what? Yeah, they said, congratulations. We're so proud of you. I was thinking to myself, oh, thank you, Jesus, okay? Man, I was so freaking happy. But then later on that night, even though they help us financially paying for a place, we have to be responsible to look for a place. So that particular day, I went apartment hunting again, looking for me a place. Now, because I was in my mother area and walking from her house, I saw another place that said for rent. So I remembered that place. So I went back to that place. And when I knocked on the door, no one came to the door. And I kept on ringing the doorbell. And the old lady came to the door and she says, what's wrong with you? Stop ringing my bell like that. And I had my daughter in my hand. And I said, I see that it says apartment for rent inside the window. And she said, yeah. I said, well, can I rent it? She said, well, it's not exactly an apartment. I said, okay, well, what it is? She says, it's an attic apartment. And it's really, really small. I said, okay. I said, well, it's just me and my daughter. And she said, do you work? I said, well, I got a job. And I got a part-time job that I'm going to quit because now I got this full-time job. And I'm still in high school. And she said, well, let me show it to you. So as we were going up the stairs, she was saying, I don't want no boys running in and out my house. I don't like people and all that traffic. So you just make sure you're not making a whole lot of noise and a whole lot of boys coming in and out my house. All the way up the stairs, this woman told me all the rules. No drugs, no drinking. And she said, so I was like, okay, I don't care. I'm following this lady up the stairs. So she took so long to get up the freaking stairs. You know, she was old. When we finally got up the stairs, It was just one room, and it had like a small kitchenette, and it had a little small area where I could put my daughter's crib, and it had two big nice windows that you could look outside and you could see all of the backyard. It was so pretty, but also you could see the top of the roof too, because of course I was at the top. But the great part about this, I found out later on, is that I can open up the window and go sit on top of the roof. And that's what I did sometimes. I sat on top of the roof with my thoughts. Well, I was so freaking happy. I finally found a place to stay for me and my daughter. Now, during the course of this happening for me and me getting the job, now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to end the story in a few minutes, because I'm going to save it for the next story time. I was so happy with the job. Okay, I got fired. And I'll tell you about that in the next story time. Along with, I saw my mother again. In the next story time, I will tell you about my job. And unfortunately, I did end up getting fired from the best job ever, and I'll tell you how I got fired. But I absolutely loved the job. I didn't see my mother again literally until that night that I found the place. I was excited. I got back to the shelter and I let them know that I did find a place to stay. But that night I didn't see any of the women that I was used to seeing there. I saw new women there, and the gossip was that they all had got kicked out. But what was so great about it, one of the girls that knew that I helped them, that she didn't participate in it, she stayed in her bed. She told me that none of them mentioned my name. None of them told on me. So I was just like, wow, you know, I never seen none of the women ever again, never in life. But the memory of them is just so vivid, and you just be surprised that when people are in a situation and they know they have to do good, they still do bad. You know, people make mistakes and people do things that changes the course of their life. And one of my mistakes were just thinking that, you know, I should look out for these women because I want to continue having friends, and, you know, I didn't want to let them down. Well, that could have ruined my chances of me, you know, finding a place and the shelter, paying for it, and ruining my chances of them ever telling me that I actually got the job. So thank God the job came through before they got kicked out. But they did make the mistake. They did leave the shelter, and I never seen them or their kids again. So thank you guys for staying in tune and keeping up with me with my story time. And I will be and I hope to see you guys again on the next story time. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and thumbs up, you guys, because the more thumbs up I get, the more I'm going to continue sharing my thoughts with you guys.